So you can check the box of, wow, I totally didn't see this one coming. Disney scrambles to win back men and boys after driving them away from Marvel and Star Wars. Wow. It's almost that men and boys, the very demographic that these things usually appeal to. It's almost as if these people have been speaking out for years and just been told to shut up, and that if they don't like it, they're just misogynistic pigs. Because, oh, you don't like the girl boss we added in? You don't like to be talked down to while watching a movie that is supposed to be an escape? Like, you're watching a movie about fucking superheroes, or, you know, like Star Wars in a galaxy far, far away, and yet you're being preached to. Oh, men. Oh, it's so hard being this. It's hard being a woman. We get enough of that shit in real life. We don't need that shit in our fantasy either. We don't. But the very demographic that they should be focusing on, they push away. It's like I've said before with Doctor Who. It's the same thing with them. You know, you have nerds who are the demographic. But then you tell those very nerds who you rely on to watch your show for the ratings, you're telling those nerds to go outside and touch grass. Because, oh no, they said the writing for the season is shit. So you tell those nerds that you rely on to go out and touch grass, and then you're surprised when the ratings tank. Maybe stop talking down to your audience and start listening to them. Because most of the time it's valid criticism, and even when it's valid criticism, they don't like hearing it. The writing sucks. Like, for either Marvel or Star Wars, it doesn't matter. The writing sucks. The characters are boring and bland. We're tired of girl bosses thrown down our fucking throats. People are just tired of it. For years and years and years and years and years, Disney has been accused of alienating boys and men. The very audience that once made Marvel and Star Wars a global juggernauts, bitch! Now, according to a Variety exclusive, the company is quietly admitting its mistake. No, we want you to say it loud and proud. We want you to say, you know, guys, we're sorry. We should have listened to you. Instead of dismissing you and calling you misogynistic anytime we had criticism, we should have listened to you. When it came to Captain America, the fact that movie, the one that came out not too long ago, the fact that it had 4 reshoots and it still fucking failed, I guarantee you, because they didn't listen to any of the fucking criticism. They had 4 reshoots. Every single test audience they had hated it. They went through 4 reshoots and it still failed. When it came to Snow White, clearly people had a disdain for Rachel Zegler, and instead of just telling her immediately to shut the fuck up because you're pissing people off on both sides, no, they kept letting her run her fucking mouth. And instead of listening to the criticism, they're like, oh, well, you just hate her because she's a strong, powerful female. No, we hate her because she's a fucking cunt who doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. We hate the movie because, no, one, it looks terrible. No one asked for it. People are tired of soulless remakes. So, no, say it loud and proud. Say, we are sorry. Sorry. It's like Charlie says, it starts with sorry. Executives are instructing their film division to create content specifically targeted at Gen Z males. Oh man, this be skibbity up in here farming that aura. For real, no cap. Something, I don't fucking know. Why are you so focused on Gen Z males? Why not the older ones who have been established as fans, like with Star Wars since basically it came out? Why are you so focused on people 13 to 28? Yeah, this is totally going to end well for them. Boys and young men between the ages of 13 and 28 who Disney have been pushing away for years. Yeah, they're not the ones you've been pushing away for years. It's the older fans you've been pushing away for years. Disney, stop. It's time to stop. Stop it. Get some help. The revelation is stunning, not only for what it says about Disney's current crisis, but for the fact that it comes straight from one of the most establishment-friendly Hollywood trade outlets. If Variety is running it, that almost certainly means the marching orders are coming directly from Burbank. Years of pushing Marvel and Star Wars for girls, you know, strong females, girls who, like Rey, come in. You know, you have, Luke, who had a training montage back in the day, you know, training with Yoda. Great little, getting to see him train and all that. It was great. Even Anakin, whose midichlorians were, like, the dude was midichlorian central, and yet we still saw him train to be able to harness it and to control the Force. But Rey comes along and says, hey, look what I can do. You're saying that somehow Rey is able to outdo Luke and Anakin with, like, zero training. Bitch is like, oh, I've never fought with one of these. See, look what I can do. Girl power. It wasn't that long ago that Marvel and Lucasfilm were cultural staples for men and boys, from boys to men. Fathers brought their sons to Iron Man and The Force Awakens with the same sense of excitement that earlier generations had for Indiana Jones or The Empire Strikes Back. But in the Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, and Kathleen Kennedy era, Disney's approach shifted dramatically. Superheroes and Jedis were reimagined, reshaped, and in many cases sidelined. Also, you think of someone like Kelly Marie Tran, her with her character Rose Tico. Her character was useless. People were criticizing her character, and the media's like, oh my god, these people are going after Kelly Marie Tran. She deleted her Instagram, and oh my god, these fucking racist, misogynist. You're gonna do that because people were criticizing this boring, bland character who a fucking cardboard cutout of them had more character? Why don't you blame the writers, the overly paid Hollywood writers who wrote such a bland character? No, that'd be taking responsibility. We can't do that. No, we have to blame the fans. We have to blame the fans, always. Sidelined, as the studio rebranded its most valuable franchises to appeal to the female audience, because apparently females didn't exist before this time. That wasn't a small adjustment, it was a company-wide strategy. Captain Marvel was positioned as the face of Marvel. Luke Skywalker was dismantled, and to make way for Rey, and he was put on a fucking, planet of his own where he's like, I fucking hate everything. I'll just do what the lady tells me to do. You saw that in Star Wars, Star Trek, with Picard. All these women basically having to fucking put Jean-Luc Picard in his place constantly, and everyone's like, this is not... That's like Captain Kirk being there and him, like, doing the same thing, like being completely sidelined and, emasculated by these women. It wouldn't happen. Indiana Jones, same thing. It was Indiana Jones, but no, he took back seat to this freaking female who had to put him in its place every 5 seconds. People are tired of that. You have She-Hulk, where her and Bruce are talking, and it's like, oh, you don't know how hard it is. I've been catcalled, and I'm sorry, Bruce's father killed himself. But sure, keep complaining how catcalling is so much worse. Um, you know, you know, and longtime male fan favorites were often written off as outdated or worse, problematic. Disney leadership may have thought this was expanding the tent. Well, people liked Carrie Fisher, and I'm sure she expanded a lot of tents. Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, come on. Strong, independent, but yet nowadays they seem like to think that these female creatures are a new discovery, like a fucking Pokemon, and now they're trying to shove them down your throat. Strong, powerful females and everything, as if we never had strong, powerful females before. Because Hollywood likes to think you're fucking stupid. Instead, it narrowed it. Boys who grew up idolizing Iron Man and Han Solo increasingly felt like guests at their own party. Now we have what's her name? Riri Williams, and then Ironheart, and whatever the female equivalent to Han is. I don't know. And Riri, forget Ironheart, she's the villain. They try to pass her off as she's the hero. No, she's the villain. She's the fucking villain. If go back and watch it, she is the villain. Like, Mephisto is a fucking saint compared to her. And Mephisto is like the fucking devil. And he is a saint compared to her. She is a terrible human being. But that's the kind of character that they want girls to look up to. The Variety bombshell. Enter Variety, which this week reported that Disney has charged David Greenbaum, the studio executive who took over live-action films in 2024, with developing original IP aimed at Gen Z men and boys. This age bracket, given 13 to 28, isn't accidental. This is exactly the audience that Marvel and Star Wars once dominated, and exactly the one Disney has struggled to keep. Again, I don't think that's the case. The report pointed to Marvel's The Fantastic Four: First Steps, a movie that had strong reviews but couldn't sustain box office momentum. Yeah, like week 2, week 3, it just a movie that has strong reviews can sustain box office momentum, as well as the fact that Star Wars has not been released has not released a theatrical film in 7 years. Has it really been 7 years? Huh. The article even included a telling quote from a rival studio executive. I never thought I'd say this, but it looks like Disney is going to have to start trying. That comment, tucked inside a Hollywood trade piece, speaks volumes. Disney's self-inflicted wound. The problem for Disney is that it's not that girls and women watch Marvel or Star Wars. They always have. Exactly. The problem is that Disney chose to chase one audience that was already watching by neglecting another. Exactly. Marvel is Star Wars. While yes, it might seem like it's male dominated, there are lots and lots and lots of females who enjoy it. So trying to placate to them and cater to them while ignoring the men, can't imagine why you just failed. Can't imagine. Instead of expanding the reach of its stories, Disney repeatedly lectured, retooled, and sidelined the very characters that made their brands appealing to men and boys in the first place. The result: fractured fandoms, declining box office legs, and a sense of fatigue that no amount of glossy marketing could fix. By the time Variety is reporting that Disney must create new stories for boys, the truth is already undeniable. The studio abandoned them. Original IP or corporate panic? The new Disney directive to develop original stories for young men and boys should, in theory, a film theory and cut. In theory, be welcome news. After all, Hollywood desperately needs fresh ideas, which they never have, at least nowadays. But the timing reveals just how reactionary this strategy is. For years, the company dismissed fan concerns as toxic or backwards. Oh, you don't like Rey because she's a terribly written character? You must be a misogynistic far-right Nazi extremist who kicks puppies and clips butterfly wings, and you don't kiss your grandma goodbye. Uh, Now as profits falter, the same audience they mocked has suddenly become essential again. It's hard not to view this as a PR firefight rather than a genuine course correction. Disney has a habit of chasing demographics that they're like their checkboxes, and Gen Z males are simply the next target on the spreadsheet. The company seems to believe they can market its way out of a problem that was never about gender in the first place. It was always about storytelling. Yeah. Yeah. Like this fucking, the Akashite. Like, same thing. Osha was a terrible character. A cardboard cutout of her would have more fucking personality. And the whole thing just didn't make any sense. You know, it's like, I bring up the scene where they kill, the Jedi show up and kill her mom. And then they try to make it like this sad thing. Like, so the Jedi show up, you know, and shit happens, and her mom turns into this giant puff of like black smoke trying to kill the Jedi. And Master Squid Games, I think, is the one who kills her. And she's like, I was gonna let her go, meaning Osha. And it's like, well, why didn't you fucking start off with that? Why did you try to kill them first and then be like, I was gonna let her go? The writing in the show made no fuck. There's a scene where this bitch stares at the dude's junk for like 15 seconds. Amazing writing, guys. Because we all want to watch her stare at some dude's junk for 15 seconds. Winning back trust won't be easy. The big question is whether Disney can market films to men and boys, and whether men and boys will care. Most likely not anymore. Mosey boys have grown up surrounded by Marvel and Star Wars, but have also grown tired of being lectured to, bait and switched, or told their heroes are obsolete. Winning them back won't happen because a corporate memo says make boy content. It will happen only if the studio produces movies that are exciting, original, and respectful of the fans who made Marvel and Star Wars cultural icons. Again, they're doing exactly what Doctor Who did. Going out to those nerds that you need and telling them to fuck off and telling them to touch grass. And then when those nerds fuck off and touch grass, you're like, what happened? Where's our money? Why are our movies not winning awards? And it is those fucking fans. They're the reason for all of this. Not us telling them to fuck off and go touch grass. No, it's definitely them. And here's a hard truth. Fans just don't trust Disney anymore. That's evident in the performance of projects like Fantastic Four, The Akashite, and others. That trust isn't restored with a press release. It's restored when the product delivers, and it could take years and years. I mean, we might be in another ice age by the time they fucking produce something that we can trust again. Final thoughts. Disney's decision to refocus on young men is an astonishing admission of failure delivered in the pages of Variety like a carefully leaked distress signal. The company spent years alienating its core fan base to chase cultural trends. Now, with Marvel and Star Wars limping, they're realizing that men and boys still matter and always did. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. His final thoughts, Jerry Springer, final thoughts. because you have to wrap up just a crap show like Jerry Springer with some actual heart to heart, you know, words of wisdom. You have all these, yeah, I'm sleeping with my brother, and then they come out and they're like, and then he sits down for a heart to heart. He's like, we all go through life not knowing certain things, and you know, sometimes we reach a fork in the road where we have to go down that certain path that we know we should, but sometimes we take that other path. And while it may take some time to get on that right path from the road we're on, we know that with enough hard work and dedication, we'll get to that other path and we'll get set on that road that we've been meant to go down our whole time. And we'll meet people along the way that some of them might be good and some of them might be bad. But what really matters is believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will believe in you. Until then, take care of yourself and each other. You know, stuff like that. Jerry. Uh, the irony is that this company wants to find the modern blockbuster by capturing the very demographic. To claw back to reality, Disney will have to do more than announce a new strategy. It will have to stop lecturing, stop pandering, and start telling stories worth believing in again. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much, again, people are tired of shit writing. But you say you're tired of shit writing, and you're called a phobicism. You point out all the problems with the story, how the characters are bland, how the story makes no sense, and oh my god, you must be a far-right extremist, and you hate strong, powerful women, and this and that, and blah, blah. Got that shield up. Got that shield. So, the fact that they're also trying, it's apparently Gen Z men, which I seriously doubt. Because it's the older fans that they've been pushing away. So, again, with this gonna be lit for real, no cap. They're gonna be Aura farming and whatever these fucking kids say. I don't know. I'm almost 40 years old. I don't know what these fucking kids are talking about anymore. We had simple words back in the day like rad. You know? Rad. Far out, extreme, but now they've got this whole new language that they've made. And it's just like I don't care. I just whatever. Anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.